my squad. As you can see here on the poster here, we have Ayu, Michael, Fedora, and Zoo. The five of us make up the Malaysian LinkedIn Mafia. And I'm excited to share with you our stories and all the things that we've been doing since we got together. And also say to you that we are actually looking for additional members. If you're interested, DM me and we'll see how that goes. So I'd like to also remind my guests that you can always answer the DMs or the comments that are below. Let's see who is online today. And guys who are tuning in, there's 25 people already. Please tell me where you're from, what you guys are doing. I know Barry, Robert is here. Hey, Rob. Natalie, Nidal Haikal from New York. So we got all sorts of people from all over the world. Thank you so much for supporting my content. Thank you so much for wanting to be on this show. So if you have any comments, as usual, just shout them out in the comment section and we will do our best to address them. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce, first of all, Ayu Shahira. We have Fedora Zulkifli. How about Zoo Angelica?
Hi,
And
guys.
last but not least, the other rose among the thorns here, Michael Teo. Hey, how is everyone?
Hello, everybody.
Hello, guys. How are you?
Hello.
Oh, this is exciting. I'm so happy to have all of you together. It's amazing. So, ladies and gentlemen, one of the themes we wanted to talk about today is the importance of a squad, a posse, a group of people who have your back and support each other. So, let's start. One of the things I mentioned as well in my promo for the show is that out of these five people you see on screen right here, we have two former CEOs, we have two current CEOs, but the one who's like skyrocketing into the stratosphere is our 23-year-old Ayu Shahira. So let's start with you, Ayu. How are you?
I'm good. I feel so honored to be in this squad actually because because I feel like I am having a very very like good mentor lah.
Thank you so much. We'll get into your story in just a bit. We will go to our youngest member, actually, the most recent addition, Fedora Zulkifli. Hey, Fedora.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Hi, Azif. Hi, everybody. You know, my tribe, as I call it, Ayu, Zoo, and Michael. Actually, to be honest, this is our first time coming together, right? And we also have first time actually seeing each other. But we've been, on WhatsApp. So yeah, I would love to welcome everybody. Thank you for being here, so we love to share our experience. Thank you.
Thanks, Fedora. We also have Zoo Angelica. Hey, Zoo.
Hello. Hi, guys. It's lovely to be here. I just want to give a special shout out to my good friend Jason Tan, who just say, "Hi, Zoo, I'm here." Welcome, Jason, and welcome, everybody. It's really amazing to be part of this squad or tribe, as we call it. So thanks for having me.
Cool. And last but not least, Michael Teo.
Hey, Azib. Hello, everyone. Hello, Ayu. Hello, Fedora. Hello, Zoo. And hello to the LinkedIn community and all the social media community, no matter where you're tuning in. Thank you again, Azib, for making this happen. Just to share with all of you, we have been in a private WhatsApp group, right, like a squad. And then Azib has been our cheerleader. He has always been raining us with so many goodies, wisdom, pitfalls, mistakes that he has made in growing his LinkedIn community. And that inspired a lot of us to actually come together to also share our lessons, our mistakes, our pitfalls, so that you can avoid them. All right. And I'm honored to be here with all of you today. And that is why we are here, is because when Azib said, "Hey, let's pull this together, let's get all of you in, and let's just have a conversation, right, with all of you." And I just jumped on it and say, Let's do it, Azib. Let's do it. Anything for the benefit of our community. Thank you again, Azib, for paving the way for us, for inspiring us. And hello, everyone. We're finally here.
Woohoo! I am still in the lunar New Year mood. I'm in my red shirt here. So, for all celebrants around the world, happy Lunar New Year. So, let's just get right at it. We have been working together in order to grow our own LinkedIn networks. So, I guess the first question is, why would anyone spend time and effort in building a network? What's the why, actually? Let's start with you, Ayu. You're a young professional, just started work. Why did you think there was a need to build a network for you?
So for me, for myself, I'm quite different. I have a different case like other graduates because I applied 1 year before I graduated, so I managed to go through a lot of like rejection and also a lot of interview, and then I managed to, even though it's pandemic, I managed to get into my dream company. So I feel like and then during when I got the job, and some of my friends, they said, Ayu, why not you help me? Ayu, can you please guide me to find jobs? And then suddenly, okay, and then after that I always talk to my lecturer and about everything, right? So and then he said to me like, oh, Ayu, I think instead of you just forward all the materials, all the things, all the advice you giving to your friends on WhatsApp, better you just go to LinkedIn. At least everyone can read, right? So okay lah, okay, I started, I opened my LinkedIn on June 2020, which is like 9
Wow.
months ago. So I opened, and then after that, I saw some of my friends, they shared their result. I was like, wow, they got 10 likes. I was so excited that time because I don't have followers, only one followers. I'm not sure who is that, but I got one followers that time before I start. And then so when I scrolled up, there's a lot of my friends that shared their results. So what I did, I just, okay, they just shared one final year, one semester only, because they only like maybe some of them they get that one is the best lah. For me, I want to stand out. What I did, because my university, right, University Technology Petronas, we have like tri-semester. So when you have tri-semester, you'll be having 3 semester in 1 year. So what I did, I posted the whole 3 semester because I got 3.9 for the consecutive 3 semester. So macam, wow, this girl. And then it went viral. So my first post already, I got almost like 400 likes. So and then after that, my lecturer say, I asked my lecturer, what should I do now? Because I already got this 400, of course, very happy, right? Because my friend, all of them got like 20, 30 likes only. And then suddenly mine got 400. And then he said, Ayu, why not you just share all the materials that you use, maybe for job application, because now everyone is struggling, right? So I okay lah. Then I started to, I have in our university we have this list, database list, like they listed out all the companies with different field. So let's say if you're not from UTP, if you don't want to work in oil and gas, you want to go for manufacturing or marketing, it's also stated inside. So I thought that all the university have that kind of information lah. So what I did, I just post, and it also went viral. That one is even better. I got like 1K, almost 1K. And then after that, after that, and then I was like, wow, this is so nice. And
So
like,
it's really about sharing information, right? And you don't know what information really is valuable to people. So ladies and gentlemen, right before the show, I was chatting backstage with all of these people, and I was saying, I have been working professionally longer than Ayu has been alive. So yet she has achieved more than me in LinkedIn. So anyone can do this. So let's go to our again youngest member, Fedora. She's just started with us and just getting to know LinkedIn actually. So what has your journey been, Fedora?
Oh yeah, I think yes. I think we were at backstage, right? I mean, she's like on a roll. My goodness. So, but yeah, I mean, basically, I started LinkedIn. I think about a couple of years ago, in actual fact, when I first started, right, opening my profile. Back then, the purpose was about connecting, right? Expanding my horizons, seeing what's out there. And yes, true enough, because I'm pretty private in terms of, I have other social media platforms like Instagrams and all that. It's more about families and all that. So when I saw LinkedIn, because again, I call myself as a lifelong learner. So I would love, I want to know what's the new, the latest, I guess the latest framework, etc. So that was how it started. And then of recently, and I must say, my goodness, I mean, how we came together is LinkedIn, right? So what happened is that I started, connecting with Azif, because Azif offered to have, himself, right, like a 15-minute, if I'm not if I recall correctly, like your conversations, just like Michael was saying. And we went on, Zoom call, and we started talking. We immediately connected, and it kind of, snowballed from there. And that's here we are today. And the other thing is, I've connected and networked so much. I've learned and exposed myself in terms of participating in. There's so much resources out there that's given for free. For example, courses, boot camps. So that has kept me busy myself. And I found you guys on LinkedIn. I found my coach. I have a coach on LinkedIn, and people are so generous and abundant. My goodness, that's the other part that, again, when I talk about it, I get goosebumps, because again, I guess I'm not sure. And now with, for example, Clubhouse, so the whole experience for me has been so positive, because it is about connecting, it is about networking, it is about growing together. Yeah, as if like the word grow. So it's about lifting each other up. Right, life is in itself is, oh my God, right, with COVID and all that. So you need your tribe, you need your like I said, the mafias. So I guess that's how it started, and
Right.
it continued to grow. But I'm not at the level as you guys. I'm still a rookie here, for God's sake. So I have a lot to learn. So I'm here to learn. Honestly, the one liner, if I were to sum it up, is to learn.
Wonderful. Thanks so much, Fedora, for that. I'd like to go to Zoo right now. So, what is someone like you with a business? You own a magazine. You edit a bit. You run and manage that, and as well as your other business. So, what has LinkedIn meant to you? What's it doing for you?
Where do I start? Many, many. I've done many things for me. So like Fedora, I started a long time ago. When it first started, I don't even remember. But it's always been like the back burner. I don't touch it. I didn't use it. Sometimes you go to it and look, okay, what your friends up to, what new position they have. You just do that. I just did that before. But then of late, I think started from when I was running Marketing in Asia, the magazine, I started going more into LinkedIn. And then what I noticed is that people is very generous and very kind. They're very, very giving. And I just love the energy over there on LinkedIn. And of course, with my businesses and all that, most of my gigs and all that, I got from LinkedIn. People get to know me through LinkedIn. So yeah, it's done a lot for me, actually, on personal level and also on professional level.
Right. So, with that, we'd like to invite Michael as well to explain. I know you have a thriving business in training called Thriving Talents. So, and you've been on it for a while, and I've seen you grow as well. Among this group, Michael here has the most number of followers. He's been probably the most active before we started this group. So, how has it been for you, Mike?
I think when I started on LinkedIn, it was just about sharing my personal stories, sharing my personal journey. In fact, that was how I've treated a lot of my social media platforms. For example, I'm also on Instagram, but Instagram, I've always seen it as my personal diary. So I would share different milestones of my life. I try to make a daily sharing, all right? But when I came on board LinkedIn, I was basically replicating the same formula of how I've used Instagram. Yeah, it's a hit or miss. And one of my mentor, Azib, and to all of our esteemed guests here, our friends, one of my mentor advised me saying that, Michael, consistency, it's the most important. And I realized that my LinkedIn entries, all right, it was there. I mean, I was reposting my personal diary, but the results were fluctuating. On certain posts, you get less engagement. On certain posts, it just exploded, right? So that was the time where, I remember again, Azib invited me. He said, hey, Michael, let's form a community, a private group. Let's learn LinkedIn. Let's use it more purposefully. Purposefully, that's the word. And then I started learning about LinkedIn purposefully. And you would have noticed that my content has also changed. So if you were to ask me how have I been using LinkedIn, of course, just like all our guests here, a lot of my clients come from LinkedIn, which also kind of give you a perception, a perspective, because most of Thriving Talents clients are the MNCs. And they are mostly American-based MNCs for some reason, Microsoft, Oracle, and these companies, because their employees frequent LinkedIn a lot, right? Especially now Microsoft owns LinkedIn. But having said that, though, I think my journey in LinkedIn, though, thank you again, Azib, and to all of you, you said I have the most followers, but I think I have not been able to engage them as purposefully, as effectively as I could have in the past. Ayu is trailblazing. She's getting the amount of followers that I took 1 year to get. She's getting it in what? 4
6
months.
days.
4 weeks. 3 days. 3 days. 3 days, right? So again, and again, by the way, Ayu and Azib are teaming up for an amazing LinkedIn masterclass. Inquire about that later on. But back to my story, right? So I think right now my journey with LinkedIn has made me more purposeful in strategizing content without losing the soul of the content and still having this one intention in mind, to add massive value to my community and to my followers. And that's why right now I write a lot about understanding the young, understanding the millennials workforce, understanding the younger sales team, the younger professionals in your company. So that is where I am, and that's where I want to go. Thank you, Azib.
Excellent. So we've heard from each of these guys. Sorry, Ayu, you're kind of blocked by my logo there, but
Okay.
so now that you mentioned about engagement, and you're right, Ayu has probably the most number of engagement, the most fanatical followers who always comments and always likes, and she has typically, I don't know what's your typical number, 500, 900 likes. She has many posts with over 1,000. So
Yeah.
what do you think after posting for this long, Ayu? What's the key ingredient actually to get people to engage with your content?
I think one of the things is that the back side of the engagement. For example, right, before this, every time people comment, I will answer, even though I'm busy, but then I will still take time. Let's say before this, I'm a fan of TikTok before this, because you don't have to think, you just scroll. But then I don't know when is the last time I opened TikTok. So whenever I feel free, I just open my LinkedIn and reply all the. I think the highest amount of comments that I reply per day was 400. Just
Wow.
imagine. I think my finger already become muscular. So at the same time also the engagement, because like before this, I was giving like free resume review, right? Giving free that, because I feel like it's okay, because before this, when I find job, during my job hunting, there was no one helping me. I went through it in a hard way. So like I feel like if I help people, I think it's gonna be easier for them, right? So like, okay, you want a resume review? Sure, can. Because one of the earliest posts, it was my resume went viral, because I thought my resume is like very common, but then suddenly it gets like almost 2K likes per day. And also because of that, because I shared my resume, and then suddenly people saying thank you to me. Thank you, Ayu, for sharing your resume. Because of your template, I got a job. I finally got an interview. So I didn't. Yeah, I know I'm posting it for the benefits, but I didn't think in depth like I'm gonna give that big impact until people can get a job. Because I feel like, oh, I'm just a fresh grad, just sharing, because like, because I have this mentality before, like when you don't have much followers, you're not gonna like get a lot of people looking at you, viewing your posts, like Instagram, right? For example, like Instagram, if that person doesn't follow you and also your private some more, they cannot see what's you're sharing with your friends. So, but falling in, no, even though you have like 2 or 3 followers only, but if your post is very mantap, it's very letop, it's very awesome. Even though you have like 1, 2, 3 followers, you can become viral. Like two to
Exactly.
300. Yes, same
Exactly. I
level.
think, yeah. I think Gary Vee spoke about the same thing. He said if you open
Yeah.
your profile today and you have no followers and you post a piece of content, there's no other social media that you will get the kind of reach that LinkedIn will allow you, organic reach. So with that, thanks so much, Ayu. I'd like to talk to Zoo for a second because I see that her recent posts have gained tremendous engagement. So many people have commented and liked. And how different is this from previously? Because I know you've been posting for quite a while, but maybe irregularly. But now you're posting more regularly and more videos. So how has the engagement different now from before?
Yeah. So, like what you said, I was very inconsistent. So, like what Michael said earlier, consistency is very important. If you appear one day and then you don't appear for 2 weeks, then people's gonna like, not so interested in what you have to say unless you have something really good to say, right? So, so for this video that you're mentioning, it's about whether or not it is important to put on makeup, because I was actually being what do you call, something criticized me early in the morning while I was joining like a workout class, saying that why are you putting on makeup, So I think people could actually, it resonates with people, especially women. Men commented as well, saying, I didn't know this is a problem, and I've got a lot of private messages asking me, how is it a problem, or I have been through the same situation, how do I counter the situation? So I think it resonates with people. I think content which resonate with people, like what I use always posting, some people wants to look for a job, those who lost their job wanting to look for a new opportunity, it resonates so well. So I think posting content that resonates with people is the key. And the main thing is to be authentic, I guess. It's not just posting just to get traction or people viewing your thing. It's about being authentic.
Yep, it's about being you.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
I've seen Fedora start to do that as well. And ladies and gentlemen, as you know, we are all on our own different journeys. Fedora has just begun creating content and just begun posting. But I also see you comment a lot on other people's posts and like and share. So how has that helped by supporting other people's posts? What does that do for you?
Oh my God, thank you, Azif, for I've been, I think just like Michael, just like Zoo, just like Ayu, right? Being purposeful and concerted about the effort. But at the end of the day, it's about being authentic. Right? At the end of the day, it's about being authentic because, and I mean, you engage. It's about engagement, right? So it is about engaging via, and it's best. Yes, I've gone through this journey where I'm also. I think you mentioned earlier about James Falk and all these personalities. So that they teach you tips and all that. So when you engage, when you comment, you are giving your point of view, right? And people are able to kind of to see where your thought process, your personality. So rather than just liking a post. So initially I started by just liking on. So again, it's been a journey for me because again it is like Azif was saying, it's based on where you are at your journey in life or in professionally or personally. So at this point in time, I'm trying to engage, I'm trying to expose myself, I'm trying to open up, and finding collaborators, finding connections and networking. So I guess by connecting, you also having conversations. So it's not face to face, it's not verbal, but it is conversations in itself. When you comment, you're getting feedback. It is about getting feedback and hearing other people's point of view and sharing your point of view. So at the end of the day, it is the ultimate engagement. So I guess to answer back your question, how has that helped me? It helps me in terms of giving my point of view, but also getting feedback on whether sharing
Right.
knowledge, sharing experience. So experiences. So yes, I think tremendous change I've gone through of late.
Yep. Yeah.
It wouldn't
So
happen. It wouldn't happen without the learnings from everyone.
exactly. So just for the audience benefit, it doesn't. You don't have to have content like I use, or you don't have to have a huge business like Michael or Zoo. Every one of us, as long as you share authentically, you can make huge headway in this platform. So back to you, Mike. Now that you are more purposeful in your postings, what difference have you seen from what you were doing before, and just in this past month that you've been a bit more consistent and a bit
Right.
more intentional in your posting?
Right. So, number one, I think from my experience of using LinkedIn, and when I talk to my clients, I said, hey, and the MCO, the COVID-19 outbreak, the pandemic last year was a wake-up call for me. So I went up to them. I said, hey, let me do some speaking engagements and training for you. And then the response that they gave me was, oh, Michael, don't worry, we'll call you for our sales kickoff, our motivational sprints for our employees, for our sales team. And I would tell them, I said, I do more than that. Really? You do? Oh, every time when I see your post on LinkedIn, you're just so inspiring. So inspiring people, inspiring speakers, sales team. And sales team kickoffs, sprints for the sales team happens 3-4 times in a year. So there you go. I realized I'm gonna go hungry, and my business will not survive, right? And then I would tell my clients, I said, didn't you know I have other programs, like we help companies to manage generation gaps, we help companies to understand the younger generation of their workforce. And then 90%, I kid you not, Azib, 90% of my clients say, oh, we didn't know you do that.
Even after all these years of working in that
After
space,
all
right?
these years, right? So they were like, we just thought you are this very motivational speaker. We know you supercharge sales teams, but we didn't know you could actually help us with managing our younger generation of people. And that was when I got a rude awakening. I just snapped out of it, and I just re-looked at all my social media strategy. And I can tell you, I was just blatantly lazy, Azib. I was just lazy. I mean, for those of you who have been following me on all my platforms, you would notice that whatever I post on Instagram, I just copy and paste on my LinkedIn. Because again, I'm being authentic. I'm being authentic, guys. Whatever I post on Instagram, it's my authentic self. But one thing I realized is that my LinkedIn audience, the learning and development people, the HR people, the CEOs, they may not be that interested with what dinner did I have last night, or what holiday did I take, right? So I started to repurpose my content where I talk about millennials. I talk about how do you gain peak performance in moving your sales team, in pushing your staff to be more productive and profitable for you. And how do we have a balance in that? So you would notice that at times on LinkedIn right now, I would post content purposefully just to help people who's having problems with their younger employees, vice versa. And then on certain days, to break the boredomness of always just feeding content, I would then push in a little bit of my personal life content. So what happened is that I hope to add variety to my community. Not only am I giving them value, but from time to time, I'm also inviting them to dive into my personal life. So there you go. That's what I've been doing.
Excellent. So, it really makes a difference just by being a bit more intentional. And what intentional means as well, ladies and gentlemen, is that people go to different social media for different intentions, right? People go to Instagram to exactly to see what other people had for meals last night and which destinations they went on the last holiday, because that's where you go to travel the world. And people go to Facebook for different reasons, to hook up with family and to membawang or to whatever, and people come to LinkedIn specifically to grow and specifically to improve their professional as well as personal lives. And that's something that's really important for us to realize. So for Zoo, for somebody like you with a magazine title and dealing with the people that you do, how is that different from what you've been doing before? I mean, obviously your post on that makeup, it fits with you because that's authentically you, as well as it also fits with you professionally because you do run grooming and personal branding type of sessions. So what else have you been posting on LinkedIn?
Sure. Okay. So for my LinkedIn account, what I use it for is mainly for my image branding services. So the magazine works differently because for the magazine, I go to other social media platforms like Facebook or Instagram. I don't post so much on the magazine over here because I feel like I tried it before. Maybe I should, like what Michael said, repurpose it a little in the future. But for now, it just don't work that way for me on LinkedIn. So I use a lot for my coaching business. So whatever I post is basically on what you wear, how you present yourself, being kind, being authentic, being for example, how you eat. I mean, people don't know this is important, but how you eat and all that, it's really important in order to build this, your presentation for yourself, because the walls have ears, right? So you really have to look into all these areas. Yeah. So to your question, LinkedIn is majorly used for my image branding work.
Right. And, this is again what Gary Vee is saying. For each of these different social medias and different channels, we really need to customize the message because, like Mike aptly said, maybe people in LinkedIn don't really want to know. But having said that, again, I would say 90% of what I post is not anything to do with what I do professionally. It's really about me, myself. And for people who are starting off, I think that's very important because you want to gain trust of people. So you want people to know who you are first, right? Before they even know what you do, what you work, where you work, all of these things, what services you can provide. That is totally secondary, tertiary. I would say that's down the line. People need to trust you first. And then once you start saying, hey, I have this to offer, it'll be much more easy for people to, kind of buy into. So thanks so much for sharing that, Zoo. We do, again, I want to tell the crowd as well that Zoo and I are planning a session, a live webinar as well. And we're using this platform called Run the World. If you haven't used it, it's amazing because you have all these interactions. You can break up into rooms. You have one-on-one kind of speed dating. Participants can get to know each other. And it's a fantastic interactive platform. We'll share with you the dates as soon as we finalize them. But what we have finalized is a date with Ayu Shahira here on the 28th of February. Myself and Ayu will be running a webinar, and it's going to be in Bahasa Melayu. So everyone in Malaysia, Indonesia, Singapore, Brunei, please feel free to join us. Sebab kali ini kami akan berbicara di dalam bahasa Melayu dengan tajuk Hidup Dahsyat dengan LinkedIn. Oh, power tajuk ni. So maybe Ayu, you can tell us a little bit about this webinar that we have planned for the 28th of February.
So should I speak in Bahasa Melayu juga? Cannot lah, because we have like English audience, international. So it's pretty like okay. So we're going to share a little bit about how is our journey throughout LinkedIn. Like for me myself, how I managed to get all those engagement, and almost of course like when people look at my profile, like oh, and then wait, it doesn't match my my working experience. They always say like that because like, oh, you just work for 9 months, but you can get all of this. Yeah, of course, it sounds easy, but then there's a lot of hard work in order for you to get it, right? So yeah, that's where I'm going to share a little bit with Azif later.
Yeah, so it's a free seminar. We'll give you the link down below on how to register for that. It's an hour on Sunday, the 28th. We hope that all of you, but it is again in Bahasa Melayu. So it's just our attempt as well to build a bigger crowd among Malaysian users, Indonesian users, Brunei, Singapore, anyone who speaks Malay, because we do have a hashtag. It's got hashtag LinkedIn BM for us to kind of rally around to use this language better. So thanks so much for sharing, Ayu. So guys, I would like to invite anyone with questions to ask questions now. We'd be very, very happy to take on any of your questions. I did see one. I have to scroll back up now because it was a question about standing out. Let me see if I can find it. Somebody asked, how do you stand out on LinkedIn with so many people posting. There, here you go. It is from, or we don't see who it is. So if you don't see your name there, it's because in your privacy setting you have set something up that if it's outside of LinkedIn, you won't be able to see your name. I think Fedora, yours is like that as well. But anyway, it says, thanks for creating this space. Wondering if you can share any tips on how we can stand out in an already crowded space. So maybe Mike, you can start off with that.
The first thing I would recommend about you standing out is just like what Azib and our esteemed friends here have said, post about your authentic self. As I've mentioned about posting intentional. Intentional means you know that the content you are going to post up is not to glorify you, but it is to really add value. So always ask yourself, what is it in it for the reader that's reading your post, your content? However, just like what Azib said as well earlier on, it's good for you to build trust. And sometimes trust doesn't come from you just posting serious content, even though you want to add value. Trust comes from you posting content that is authentic to yourself. And what I mean authentic from my experience is content about your failures, your lessons, your aha moments, right? And that is where I mentioned earlier that I would post intentional content that adds value to all of you. But at the same time, in the middle, throwing it into the mix, I would post up some content personally to myself. So like just an example for those of you who have not followed any of us yet on LinkedIn, please do. Today, I posted about my meeting with Dato Lee Chong Wei. So I recalled how I muscled up my courage to meet him. And then we became friends after that. I've met him numerous of times ever since. And I did a post on my LinkedIn just today. It's not on my Instagram. It's not on my Facebook, just on my LinkedIn. And it has nothing to do with managing younger people. It has nothing to do with understanding your boss or motivating your sales team. It is only about communication. How do you muscle up your courage to talk to the world's #1 badminton player, our Olympic medalist? So that would help you build your authority. That would help you stand out. And Azib, one more point before I pass the stage over, because I know our friends here, they have their strategies as well that I'm eager to learn. The second point I'd like to make is that how do you stand out among the crowd is that when you start posting for a while, just like IU, right? You start posting for a few months, you will begin to see what type of crowd you attract by looking at your LinkedIn analytics. So surprisingly, a lot of the people that tend to read my posts, spoilers, are people from banks, are people from insurance companies, and are people from oil and gas. Interesting. You won't find people from AirAsia or Malaysia Airlines reading my posts on LinkedIn. I don't know why. So what happened is that once you have identified what type of crowd you tend to attract, and if that crowd is a crowd that you like, what I mean like is because this crowd, banking, insurance, and oil and gas, these three industries are my clients. I serve them a lot. I work with a lot with their teams. So I want to continue adding value to this group. So what I've done is I would research specifically what is hurting these industries. What is hurting them? What's their biggest headache when it comes to managing younger team members? What's their biggest pain when it comes to understanding their bosses in a highly charged, highly evolving industry, right? And I would start to cater my content for that. And I think that's how you stand out. That is how people regard you as a trusted advisor to their needs. Back to you, Adit.
Thank you so much, Mike. So two things. You do you the best. Nobody can do you better than you, right? So write about who you are and be specific about who you're targeting. Interestingly enough, oil and gas is one of my biggest follower base as well, and consulting companies. So I get people from consulting companies all over the world following me for some reason. Again, we don't know how this big algorithm in the sky works, but that's just who they point towards me. Fedora, you've, again, as somebody just starting out, have you seen the differences in, putting out content that makes you stand out among the people that you follow, or the posts that you yourself put out?
Yeah, I think I'm still finding my way, honestly, in terms of consistency, to be honest, right? But what I noticed in terms of the postings that brings out the wittiness of me, for example, right? The character, your character, does somehow pull the crowd, because in my few postings, it's bringing out, it's about my learnings, but at the same time putting in some, things like puns and that resonates with me, the likes of, for example, I'm talking about why I the books, yeah, for you cats, right? So but at the end of the day, there's also call to action. So what's the learning here, right? At the end of the day, yeah, you can make jokes, and but that is something, because you need to find your space too, because it's crowded. It is crowded, right, already. So in order for you, I think, be your authentic self and don't be shy about it. But of course, you need to learn. I guess there's a question about etiquette and all that. So there are some techniques, but it's really, sometimes it's not that technical. So it is just, try it out, give it a try. So there's no one, my formula might not work with, with some people, so it depends again on your purpose and where
Right.
you are. So in my case, for example, now I'm all about my learning, my personal brand, right? It's about my discovery. So next, I mean, perhaps Michael is about services, and Zoo too, right? So I guess when I'm ready, I'm strong. So then I'm gonna go into that kind of content, perhaps. So I guess at the end of the day, you got to also consciously plan. You got to be conscious about what you're doing every step of the way. It's not
Right.
doing it blindly. So
Thanks
yeah.
for those two different perspectives, and I shared on that as well. So let's go for another question. Maybe Zoo and Ayu can take this one. May I know how much time each one of you spend on the platform? Okay, this is a regular question that we get. Thanks, but this is one of our buddies as well. And you Malaysians out there would have known him. He's already, becoming a star on LinkedIn as well. And he's been a staple of the training industry here in Malaysia. So, how much time do you spend, man? Well, for me, I'll start this off. Probably close to 2 hours, maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. First thing in the morning, you know me, I go on a run, and right immediately after I post the video, I edit it a bit. But even before I go on the run, I've already, replied to messages, replied to DMs, commented on a few posts and all of that. So that probably takes half an hour. During the day, of course, I work full time, so I'm not on it except for like 5 to 10 minute spurts when I have some free time, like you said, instead of going on TikTok, which I don't, but instead of doing whatever, I spend 5 to 10 minutes as a break to comment as well. And in the evenings, I spend a little bit more time planning kind of what my posts in the next day are, a bit more longer sessions to do that. So that's about me. How about you, Ayu? How much time do you spend?
Okay, for me myself, because I'm a software engineer, so most of my time, I think 90%, except for solat, mandi, makan also sometimes in front here. This is the place. So what I did to stop myself from overworking is to install, we call it RSI Guard in my PC. So basically, it's like if you guys know Pomodoro technique, so it's like working 30 minutes, and then after that you have 5 minutes break. So after that, once you already during that break, my computer will be blocked. I cannot I cannot type. I cannot use my mouse. I cannot do anything. So let's say I'm forced to take a break, because sometimes you're very focused on your work, and then you don't you stretch everything, right? And then later you're gonna sakit badan, all the
Yeah.
pains, everything, right? You need to stretch. So I use that time. Yeah, I do stretching as well, but I think I don't have. I don't think I'm gonna use all those 5 minutes to stretch, right? So I do LinkedIn. So like for the whole day, I took almost like quite lots of time also, like 3 to 4 hours or so, because like, yeah, logically, like sometimes I have like 400 or 500 comments, right? And also if you see my DMs also, the DMs is also almost that amount of, yeah. And also like right now, what I
Yeah.
did to answer all the engagement that I have on DM, because if I type every single one, it will be time consuming. I just do voice note. Hi, thanks for
Mhm.
connection, blah blah blah. And then of course, take care and stay safe, something like that. So like I think it puts it shows my personality more because they know how I speak. They can listen to my voice, because if you just text them, then they're not getting your emotion. That's why I always love to use emoji, because I can show my face when I reply. For example, like if I smile, I put smile emoji, something like that.
Yeah, amazing. So you know what? Just like to shout out to Shanae Moray, who's in the house right here. She is our mentor. The five of us are all part of a group called Growth Academy, and we wouldn't be here if it wasn't for her. Both of my shows are a direct result of a one-on-one strategy session I had with her, a call I had with her, and she said, I'm already posting videos, I'm already posting content, you have to have a live show, she said. So both of my shows, Grow and Culturism, are a direct response to a suggestion she made for me. And I can't thank her enough. I've invited her to come on stage. I don't know if she has time. If you haven't followed Shanae Moray, please do. She has grown from 0 to 750,000 in 24 months. Like I was saying, in years, it's longer than I've been working. 24 years is longer than I've been working. But, she is an amazing lady. Please follow her. I'll give you a link, guys, to Growth Academy, because, like I said, this is what is the gel that ties the five of us here together. We're the Malaysian mafia of the Growth Academy, and we hope to grow further by leaps and bounds. So if any of you are interested in joining, please do. I'll give you a link down below. But again, I thought I really needed to stop and shout out to say thanks so much for dropping in. It's such an honor for us to have her in this room. So thanks, Shanae. So let's go back to our questions. Or did you want to add something, Zoo, to this? How much time do you spend on LinkedIn?
Okay, I'm like you. So I spend like around 1 to 1.5 hours every day. So same like you, I go for a run in the morning and then I load up my content. That was at the beginning, that was before. And then after I met you, the Shefu, who told us that you could, put in content like frequently every time, like in a day. So I started posting twice a day and sometimes 3 times. But which is not easy because, as I said, I want to be as authentic as possible when I post something. So if I don't have anything to say, anything authentic, I wouldn't do it. But yeah, so I'll spend around 1 to 1.5 hours every day.
Right, excellent. So again, guys, it really depends on your journey as well. To the audience there, you can spend as much or as little time as you want, really. But one thing I've learned since joining Growth Academy and since learning from Shanae is that it doesn't have to be painful. What you post, you don't need to spend that much time, especially since we believe authenticity over perfection, right? She keeps drumming that into us. You don't have to wait till your content is perfect, till everything's beautiful, till everything is in its place. You don't have to wait for that. As long as something touches you emotionally, I think that's the most important thing. If it touches you in your heart, it will touch somebody else's as well. So put that out. It doesn't have to be perfect. Grammar doesn't have to be perfect. Spelling doesn't have to be perfect. Your lighting doesn't have to be perfect. As long as it is moving and it's emotional on any level, somebody will resonate with that. And one of the lessons I have as well is that your content doesn't have to be pleasing to everyone, sorry. Some people will resonate and some people won't, and that's perfectly fine, right? LinkedIn is big enough. It's over 800 million users right now. It's a huge planet of people out there, and you will touch a portion of that planet with your content. So just put out there. One of the things Shanae always says as well is show up. You need to show up. You need to put yourself out there, even though it's uncomfortable, even though it's not natural for you, even though it's difficult. One other thing I'd like to put out is that there are many different ways of putting content out, right? Live is one of them, and not everyone is ready for this. Fedora didn't think she was ready for it, but look at her right now. She's, taken to it like a fish to water. She's a pro already. So that's one. That's video. You can put out audio. If you don't want to put your face out there, put out an audio file and people will listen to it. Write, as Ayu is really well at doing, she writes. And she's only started since she joined this group. Only then has she started putting out videos of her in it. And I think she really needs to put more of that. You can write long form in articles like Michael does. You can do short form in like really short quotes, one paragraph. Sometimes can go viral, right? Ayu? Sometimes it's just 4 lines of words like Shanae puts out, and she can get 5,000 likes, so it really depends on what content you want to put out there. Some people are artists. Lisa, I think one of our friends, paints, and she puts out her artwork out there, and she receives tremendous engagement on her post. So there's so many different ways, guys, that you can put yourself out there, but the important thing is put yourself out there, because then people will resonate, people will enjoy what you're doing. So you know what, guys, time flies when you're having fun, right? It's been
Yeah.
50 minutes, and Fedora was so worried. What do we talk about? What do we talk about? How do we fill the time? And it's been almost an hour already. So I want to take these last maybe a few minutes to kind of recap what we've been going through. I'd like to give all of you guys a chance to give what you think was your key takeaway from this session, what you have learned, because what I find is that every time I run these sessions, I learn more than I give. It's just such a learning opportunity for me. So since you're a lifetime learner there, Fedora, maybe you want to kick off this last portion of the show.
I guess I think after listening to everyone and also doing at the same time self-reflecting, so it is everyone has at different points in their life journey. So while and at the end of the day, it's about having that courage, right? Like what, just to build on from what Azif was saying about putting yourself out there. And it might not be for everyone, but if it is for you, do it, right? So and be you, but at the same time be intentional, just like Michael, Ayu, Zu are saying, because everyone, I'm sure everyone has that noble intention and noble purpose, right, in life. So what is it out there? Like what Ayu is doing, right? It's about giving back. It's about, pro bono and spending man hours, right? When she could, 23-year-old doing, right, other things. And so I think again, not just Ayu, Michael, Zu, Azif, my goodness. So at the end of the day, give it a go. Give it a try. Like me, because I'm still learning. I'm nowhere near where the rest are, but I'm putting myself out there. And I did. When I had my conversation with Azif, I remember Azif, right? He's saying, I ask questions, learn. Find that formula that works for you. So there's no, from what my experience is, is it in the morning? I ask questions, like, is it best to post in the morning? Where's the best timing? So it depends, right? It depends. So I think again, my last part is do you and contribute. So if your intention is about giving, it's about sharing, it's about the community. I think that's what we are here for, right? So
excellent.
Please,
thank you so much for that summary. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Take care. How about you, Zu? What were your key takeaways from today's session?
The community. These days you don't do anything without the community. Everything moves with community. So with this session, that's what not just the session, even before this, right? When you came into our lives and then this thing happened, and especially today, when you see all these people coming, you just realize how amazing when you have a community behind you. You can move mountains.
Thank you so much for that. And Ayu, our most senior member here, what's your takeaway from today's session?
So I feel like anyone can start LinkedIn. Actually, it doesn't matter from what kind of background, how old are you. Like yep, we are the proof that everyone can be active on LinkedIn. And also, actually, yep, sometimes we overthinking, like when we post, right? Oh my God, maybe people will judge me, or maybe this becomes sendu, or maybe nobody will like me, or maybe later my boss see. If you have a good intention, why not just spread it? Because we never know what will happen, right? If people read it, right?
Exactly,
And also,
exactly.
for me, LinkedIn is like it's like a bridge to get connected with opportunities. If I don't start my LinkedIn, I will not meet Azif, I will not meet Fedora, I will not meet Michael, Zoo, because they're out of my league. So like, yeah, just start first and then think later. Okay. That's what the key take the main point today.
That's right. Do first, think later. That's what she's
Yes.
saying. All right. Thank you so much, Ayu. And last but not least, my buddy Mike.
Thank you, Azib. I would like to split my summary recollection of what we have been sharing today to 3 points. The first point I'd like to address is to Felix. Felix asked about negative comments. So I think the first thing is, if you're being authentic, as long as you're not posting something that is vulgar, you are not posting something that intentionally is going to offend another person. You can say that you're posting something to debate, to challenge a statement. That's fine. But as long as you know that you're not posting it with the intention to hurt, if there are people that post up negative comments, I think the best that you could reply to those comments, should you not want to reply it intellectually, like you don't want to get into a debate with them, is just to say thank you for your views and I respect that, and tag their name. And if they begin to hustle you even more, just ignore them, because at the end of the day, the more they hustle you, the more your post will trend, the more it will go viral. So maybe a good thing for you too. Okay. The second point I would like to share is from Jocelyn. Jocelyn asked about is there any etiquette of posting up on LinkedIn? What I feel is, again, as long as you do not have the intention to post vulgarity, profanity, something that will offend someone else, I think there is not really a LinkedIn etiquette. But I think what's more important is that when you post up content, be yourself. If you want to use LinkedIn to build your business, always ask, what is it in it for them? I have actually split tested. I've actually tried posting on LinkedIn, showcasing a poster of an event that I'm doing. I would get miserable engagement. The response is dead. But if I were to relate a personal experience of how that event that I will be organizing, how it has changed my life, that's what inspires me to do that event, the engagement is higher. So at the end of the day, Jocelyn, I believe, post stories, always think what is it in it for the reader, and relate it back to why you started it, the reason, the purpose, right? And then Azib and all our friends here, the third point that I would like to make, again, leveraging on what Joseph Raj Ratnam said here. I mean, a lot of love over there, guys. Thank you guys for the sharing.
so
The session was
much.
very helpful for me. We hear stories like Ayu, where in 2-3 months, she skyrocketed her following. And there are people who are a little bit kiasu. What is kiasu? Scared to lose, scared to die. Yeah, I'm from Penang, so that's very common there. That's what they say about us, right? Kiasu, kiasi, scared to lose, scared to die. But I find so many content creators, they get crippled because they tend to think, how do I now write like Ayu? How do I now go and meet Dato' Lee Chong Wei like Michael Teo? Oh my goodness, then my post will be trending. You don't have to do that. Just like what Azib, just like Fedora, just like what Zoo has mentioned, just post your authentic self and know that it's a long journey. It's a journey, right? It can be long. It's a journey. But how do you recollect your energy to keep posting, even though you have 50 views on a day on that post? Is to just remember the feeling of gratitude, to know that LinkedIn is a platform for you to tell your story. And the more story you tell, the more people you connect with, the more your intention is clear that you want to add value to people, the more people will follow you. And it will come that day where you would hit that sweet spot of getting your first 1,000 followers.
Wow, thank you so much for that summary. And just to reiterate, about the if it's vulgar, if it's going to offend anyone. I mean, I have to do that as well. So right before you post, just do that check, and you say if maybe this will offend somebody, just don't. Just err on the side of caution. Sometimes you don't want to hurt other people's feeling. Was just about to post this video. It was very funny to me about the French language, right? And how their words sound similar. So it was about, it just sounded, they used Google Translate and they just repeated the same word again and again and again. It was a French phrase. So I thought it was so hilariously funny because I studied French for 2 years and that's basically what I got. I couldn't speak it. But anyway, I do have followers who speak French, right? I have Darine in Canada, and I have people in France, and I didn't want to hurt their feelings, so I just scrapped the post. I had written a really nice, beautiful copywriting, like Ayu said, you have to copyright. So we copyrighted, and then, but in the end of the day, you delete it if there is even a slightest chance of hurting people's feelings. But then again, be yourself. Some people will get offended regardless, and those people really need to figure things out, and you need to figure things out. But like Mike said, you could agree to disagree. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, please help me to thank our guests, Michael Teo, Fedora Zulkifli, Zu Angelica, Ayu Shahira. I mean, this was a super fun session for me. They were just amazing. Thank you guys so much for being on. We must do this again. This is
Yes.
crazy. This is great. And for all the guys who asked questions in the comments, if we didn't get to your questions, I must apologize. But all 5 of us will go back to the comment section and we will try and reply as many as we can. If you're not connected to any one of these people, please get connected right now. If you're not connected to anyone in the comment section, just connect to all of them. They're all great people. They want to grow. Just connect to all of them. So with that, we'd like to say goodbye to all of my guests. Goodbye, guys. Thanks so much. I'm going to take them off the stream. I have one more message for all of you guys. And that is, Ayu and I do have this show coming up on the 28th of February. It's called Hidup Dahsyat dengan LinkedIn. And both of us will share our experiences on growing. It will be in Bahasa Melayu. So if you don't speak Bahasa Melayu, maybe you don't want to register for this one, but we'll do an English one soon. The link to the event is in the comment section. I also have to say that this event actually was brought to you, not this show was brought to you by Redbeard Media International and powered by Restream.io. So if you're looking for a streaming app, you may want to check out Restream.io. I'll also give you a link in the chat. But ladies and gentlemen, full gratitude to all of you. You guys make my day. Thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciate every single one of you. Please DM me if you need any help. DM me if you want to join the Malaysian Mafia on GA, and we will see how that goes. Again, I appreciate everyone. Please take care of yourselves. Please stay safe. And as always, stay kind. Bye, everyone.